Celtic Spirit Oracle deck for pile number 1, which is the fluorite stone. For pile number 2, which is our Earth Magic Oracle deck, we have the blue selenite. For pile number 3, we have the red jasper stone for the Queen of the Moon Oracle deck. And pile number 4, we have selenite stone for the Star Codes Astro Oracle deck. Please select your card deck now.
Welcome everybody to our full moon flow today. We will begin this class starting in a child's pose. So maybe that looks like having your knees a little bit separated or knees together, and then body will lay over top. Maybe arms stretch out if that feels good to you, or even arms by your side to rest those shoulders a little bit. And we'll just begin this full moon practice by breathing into that space in the back body, those back lungs, feeling the inhales expand and contract on our exhale. Noticing the points in which the body makes contact with the earth, the hands, the forehead, the knees, the shins, the tops of the feet. Noticing how this full moon is making us feel energetically. If full moon is creating any big energies, any loud, intense feelings or emotions in the body, just noticing if any of that is happening within us, not judging, not changing, just noticing and feeling these emotions. And also recognizing that we are not the only people feeling these big, heavy emotions, that everyone else around us may also be feeling the exact same thing. So giving ourselves grace, but also everyone else that we're sharing space with the same grace. Again, finding breath in the back body, the back of the lungs, and we'll take 5 more breaths here.
Tabletop position, take your time. Beautiful. And if you have a blanket to support the knees, making sure it is there for you. We'll begin by centering the right palm. Inhale, lifts the left hand up into sky, open up the chest. Exhale, thread the needle, reach underneath, placing the head down on the mat. Option to place the right hand above the head or bind at low back. Yogi's choice here for 2 breaths. Finding that right palm near the face, gently pressing up into the sky with the left hand. Reach, and then coming back down to that tabletop. Nicely done. Centering that left hand, reaching high with the right hand up into sky. Exhale, thread the needle, sending it underneath that left arm, then placing the head down on the mat. Option to send that left hand towards the top of your mat or binding at low back for 2 breaths. left palm near the face, lifting high into sky with the right hand. Exhale into tabletop position. We're inviting in some spinal waves here, sending hips back first into cow shape, then rounding into cat, all the way up to the top, into the tabletop, and then sending hips back into child's pose to cow, rolling up to that cat, doing this for 2 more breaths here. We'll come back into that tabletop position. We'll go ahead and flip the palms about 6 o'clock here. You're welcome to do so if you'd like. And then gently pressing back here if it feels good. If not, just make it 3 o'clock or 9 o'clock in that sense. And then sitting back just a little bit here for 2 breaths. Beginning to flip those palms here. Sending our hips back here into a hero's pose. Finding the mid back here. Coming up into a kneeling shape here, and then lifting the chin into camel pose. Exhale into neutral spine, walking palms forward here into a modified plank. Halfway lower, chaturanga. Inhale to cobra. Exhale, sends hips back, child's pose. Being here for 3 breaths to finish this warm up.
From here, adding in just a little bit more movement. If those hands are not already extended out in front of you, go ahead and extend them, tucking the toes under and then pushing the hips up into the sky, downward facing dog. And then just walking this dog however feels best for you. Maybe pedaling those feet, bending those knees. Maybe shaking the head, yes or no. And then inhale, we're going to lift that right leg up into the sky, bending the knee, opening up the hip, maybe making circles here if that feels good for you. Inhales to straighten that leg, and then we're going to begin to send that leg through the palms. And then lowering that left knee down, so we are finding a low lunge here, grounding first, feeling really sturdy in this structure, and then inhale, we'll lift the arms up into the sky. Maybe lifting the chin, lifting the gaze just a bit here. Inhale, and then exhale, we're gonna bend at the elbows, cactus arms. Inhale to lift back up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale to lift us back up. One more. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, lifts those arms back up, and then we're taking left hand on the inside of the foot on the ground, keeping that right arm up into a twist. Letting that right hand place itself on the inside of that right foot. We're finding a lizard lunge here. So you can stay exactly where you are, hands on the earth, or we can lower down onto those forearms. And maybe even rolling onto that outer edge of that right foot if that calls to you. Beautiful. Let's take 3 more breaths here. Coming up onto those palms if you're not there already. And then we're going to swing that right leg back into a tabletop. Couple rounds cat-cow here, moving with your breath, your movement. When you're ready, we're going to begin to find a neutral spine and then tucking those toes under, hips peel up, downward facing dog. Next, inhale to lift that left leg up into the air, bending the knee, opening up the hip. Maybe making any circles if that calls to you. Inhale, lengthen that leg back out, and then exhale, sending it through the hands here. Grounding first. We're going to drop that right knee to the earth, hands on the earth, and then when you're ready, inhale, lifts us up. Feeling really sturdy in this foundation, lifting up through the pelvis. Try not to dump any weight. Inhale, exhale, bending those arms. Inhale to lift back up. Exhale, bend the arms, cactus. Inhale to lift. Exhale, cactus. Inhale, lifts those arms back up to the sky. Then right arm meets the earth here. Left arm up into the twist. That left arm comes around on the inside of the left foot, finding a lizard lunge on this side. Maybe staying on palms or lowering down onto forearms or even blocks here may feel good. Rolling onto that outer edge of the left foot if that calls for you, and knowing that this pose may look different on this side than it does on the other side, and that's okay. Take 3 more breaths. Hands begin to find themselves here on the earth, and then just swinging that left leg around into tabletop. Few rounds cat-cow here, your breath, your movement. When you're ready, finding a neutral spine and then sending those hips back into a child's pose for 3 breaths here. And on the exhale, coming up into tabletop, take your time. Swooshing the feet off to the side, finding an easy seat on your mat. If you have a blanket to use, you can rest on that as well. And in a cross-legged position,
we go here. Finding that front leg here, you're welcome to take lotus by lifting that foot up and then cradling it like a baby almost, rocking back and forth side to side, nurturing that inner child you have. And then gently placing that foot on top of the leg. If it feels too much pressure on the knees, go back to that easy seat here. Beautiful work. Inhale, arms to rise up into sky. Exhale, folds you down over extended legs. Taking 2 breaths here. Walking those fingertips back here. We'll actually go back into those cactus arms here. Finding cactus arms. And then right arm over left into an eagle arm shape coming in. You could also give yourself a hug. Inhale, lift those elbows up. Exhale. Inhale to release the arms back into cactus. Exhale, releases both the arms down, switching out the legs so that the awkward leg is in front this time. Cradling like a baby here, so grabbing that little foot of yours and then giving yourself a little bit of a hug here, and then gently placing that foot on top of the leg. Beautiful work. Inhale to arms to rise up into sky. Exhale, forwards you down over both of those legs. 2 breaths here. Walking those fingertips back here, we'll find our cactus arms once more here. This time it's left over right into that eagle arm shape. Or whichever opposite one you chose. Inhale, elbows rise up into sky. Exhale. Inhale to release both of those arms. And then exhale. Fully release, having ourselves in staff pose, legs extended in front of you. Inhale, arms to rise up into sky. Exhale, pulls you forward, bend at the knees just gently. And then maybe chin comes to chest here, holding here for 3 breaths. And then as you walk up, grabbing that right knee into chest, bringing it in, gently placing that right foot on the left side of your left leg here. You could take a wrap around with that left arm and then turn into that half Lord of the Fishes pose, or having the elbow on the opposite side of the knee. Yogi's choice here. 2 breaths. Exhale, coming into center, take your time. Gently letting go of that leg, inviting in the left knee this time into chest, and then placing it on the opposite side of that right leg. Inhale, wraps you around that knee, or you could place that elbow on the opposite side of the leg here, and then turning to the back of the knee. 2 breaths. Exhale brings you back into center. Take your time. Releasing that leg once more. Finding that blanket towards the back of your mat for a little bit of a pillow. So if you have a blanket, use it for a little pillow. And then 1 vertebrae at a time lowers you down to your spine. Take your time. So please allow yourself to Become one with the earth. As you do so, we'll do a little body scan here, releasing any tension in the face, releasing tension stored within the shoulders. On the exhale, releasing tension from the chest, the lungs, the belly. Maybe gripping hands, clutching them, and then releasing all that energy out into the world, the universe. Releasing tension stored within the legs. Releasing tension stored within the feet. And anything that's touching the earth, letting it go. The full moon is about releasing what no longer serves us, what no longer gives us purpose, meaning. Think of that now. Once you have that in mind, surrendering to the thoughts of it no longer being a control over your life. Let it not have power over you. Wiggling fingertips and toes, maybe rotating wrists and ankles, maybe stretching overhead, the biggest stretch you've had all day, maybe pointing those toes, really stretch. And then finding a side that's calling to you to rest in a fetal position. Returning to the intention that you set at the beginning of practice. And on the exhale, pressing up into a seat. Take your time. We will now begin our next portion of today's practice. It is our oracle card pulls here. We'll be with you shortly.
If you went ahead and selected one of these decks at the beginning of our practice, we're going to go ahead and do a card pull for the next portion of our video with some journal prompts as well. This card pull is actually going to be exclusive for our Clairvoyance members only, so if you'd like to join us for the second half, please join our Clairvoyance Yoga membership at clairvoyanceyoga.com. It's $22 a month or $222 for a year-long membership where we post 4 new videos every month. So please stick around for this second half, and we're really excited. So.
Thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all the fun things. And if you're on the members platform, thank you so much for being a Clairvoyance Yoga Sphere member. Please stick around for more videos in the future, starting at the beginning of the month just to find out, what's going to happen, what's happening in our world here.
Yeah.
And we got lots to offer, so yeah, until next time,
Mwah.
have a good one.